Hey, dethroners, welcome back to the Dethroning Your Inner Critic YouTube channel. Today, I want to talk about how the next 6 months of your life can be extraordinary. But I want you to know it's not going to happen by accident. It is only going to happen because you choose to make it happen. So I hope that the information in this episode will change the way that you think about your whole life. So I want to start by talking a little bit about some science about how you can really change your whole life within 6 months. So Albert Einstein said that time is relative, that although time seems to follow this universal tick-tock rhythm, it really doesn't, okay? So he says that the rate at which time passes depends on your frame of reference. Now, what does that mean for you? It means that time is actually not something that we go through, okay? And if we don't understand time, it's really going to rule not just our thinking, but our whole belief system and our experiences. So time is not this straight line that we walk through, okay? So the things that maybe took almost our whole life to create, let's say even 50 years ago, okay? Like it takes, 30 years to develop a certain level of wealth or a certain level of success. And now, all right, 50 years later, we have the power to change the course of our life in a very short amount of time, okay? So our life doesn't improve by, mere chance, the way we used to think 50 years ago, okay? Our life actually improves by the changes that we consciously choose to make right now. So it's really, we can shorten time by consciously making changes. But I want to talk about how we make changes because so many people stay stuck and they never make the changes that they really want to make. Most of the women that come into my Mastering Your Mind program do so because they've been thinking about and dreaming about how to make significant changes in their life for so long that they can no longer stand how stuck they feel emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. Okay. So this is why really understanding the science behind how to reprogram your subconscious mind is really important. Now, I call the subconscious mind your inner critic mind. It can also be called your ego mind, okay? It's basically the mind that operates for you. You don't tell your mind what to think, it just thinks. And most people spend 95% of their life just blindly following their automatic mind, okay? So what that means is that most of your decisions, your actions, your emotions, and your behaviors really depend on your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is constantly learning from your conscious mind, okay? So changing your life in a very short amount of time is really dependent on intentional work to reprogram your subconscious mind, okay? Now, this is what it means when you hear that your imagination creates your reality. Your subconscious mind can't tell the difference between an imagined experience and a real experience. And your subconscious mind right now is where your self-image is stored. Your automatic mind, that's your self-image that was created by your inner critic mind, powers your conscious thoughts and actions. So when you reprogram that, you are creating a new subconscious mind that powers different thoughts and different actions. And when you are using a very different subconscious mind to create your life moving forward, it changes how you experience your world, because your world, literally your physical reality is really just your self-image revealed to you in a way that you can't see. Your life is a match for the images in your subconscious. So your life essentially is a manifestation of all of the visions, both good and bad, that you believe in the most, right? Both consciously and unconsciously. There is huge power. I mean, huge power in using your imagination to create your life. But you have to understand what's currently happening inside of your imagination. Because if you don't intentionally know how to use your imagination, your life is actually being guided by automatic programming that first began when you were a small child. And most people have no idea that their current life is a mirror of that programming that we all created when we were a little child. That's why I created the mind method. It's a very powerful tool for reprogramming your automatic subconscious mind. Now, a key aspect of that lies in the N step of the mind method, neutralize the never-ending message. So to understand why the N step is so powerful, I want to kind of do a deep dive into how your subconscious mind operates and therefore how it influences your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors. So your automatic mind, as I said before, 95% of your cognitive activity is subconscious. When you are able to understand and clearly see your automatic thoughts that are like, it's like they arise just spontaneously. All right. We don't consciously deliberate on these thoughts. They just show up. All right. And these are our negative self-critical thoughts that literally create our reality. So the never-ending message is really about those thoughts that are rooted in our past experiences, our past traumas, our learned behaviors. They operate like a loop, reinforcing not just negative beliefs, but also painful emotions, which then in turn create behaviors that keep us stuck and keep us operating in the same life over and over and over. So when we bring awareness to all of this, all right, recognizing the automatic thoughts, understanding that they are not necessarily true, they are not reflective of reality, but that they are instead just manifestations of that subconscious mind, that changes everything. With consistent practice, right? This is why my program is 6 months. With consistent daily practice, we can literally change the mind that we're using to create our life. But the reason why we have to have consistent practice is because that subconscious mind is very resistant to change. In fact, what I always say is that our automatic mind, our inner critic mind, actually gets louder when we start intentionally having different thoughts, having different beliefs, having different emotions, and taking different actions. All right. So from a neuroscientific perspective, okay, the process of neutralizing the never-ending message creates different neural pathways in our brain. This is the whole idea of neuroplasticity. That's the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. And I can tell you, as I sit here and you are listening to my voice, my actual reality, my actual life is nothing even close to what it was a mere 5 years ago, because of this whole practice of changing and rewiring my automatic mind, which still shows up every day. But now I'm so intimately familiar with it that I use a very different mind to navigate my life. And I feel incredibly blessed that I've taught hundreds and hundreds of people to do that as well. Okay. Your conscious mind is basically like a wild monkey. It holds all sorts of thoughts, and some of which you might believe, some of which you don't, okay? But your subconscious mind only holds the thoughts that you believe are true, okay? It holds all of the sponsoring thoughts and beliefs that create your current life. So the first concept that I talk about with people in the when they come into the Mastering Your Mind program is learning to program the words I am. Not I will be, not I want, but I am. Because those two words, those tiny little words, I am, 3 letters, okay? That forms the basis of using a conscious imagination. Because when you are embodying the sense of I am, okay, now you're tuning into different emotions. You're actually infusing every cell of your body with gratitude and appreciation. And when you infuse every cell of your body with the emotions of gratitude, joy, feeling pride in yourself, feeling good about who you are, embracing and accepting your faults and your flaws, now you are actually infusing those emotions into your actions. And this is exactly what expands your consciousness. Okay. When I talk about expanding consciousness, right, it's bringing deep self-awareness to be able to recognize patterns, understand your motivations, see and identify your areas where you want to grow, making conscious choices rather than reacting automatically to situations and experiences. Okay. And this changes your emotional intelligence. It improves your relationships. It improves your well-being. It helps you navigate different challenging interactions with more empathy and understanding. It brings you different perspectives. It allows you to understand the true nature of reality in a very different way. Okay. It has you deepen and strengthen your connection to other people. It brings a deeper sense of your spiritual awareness and your sense of meaning and purpose beyond just the material aspects of life, right? It gives you access to heightened intuition, right? Where you can really tune into your inner wisdom and have very different intuitive insights that have the power to take your life into a completely different realm. Okay. What we're talking about here is transcending your automatic self, transcending your ego, moving beyond the limitations that you don't recognize you placed on yourself, your sense of self that's been driven by your personal identity and your ego's self-interest, right? So I want you to think about some of the most significant and impactful relationships in your life. Okay. So this is a perfect example of how our reality can actually match our subconscious, right? I'm going to bet you that there are certain relationships that you have in your life where when you first locked eyes on this person, it was almost like you knew them on a soul level instantaneously. That relationship then flourished into what it is now. But that on some level, looking back, it was almost like, I know you. So if you are going through a time in your life right now where you're longing for more meaningful connections, more energy in your life, more meaningful experience, okay? This is a really important episode for you because a lot of people keep looking at what they want and don't yet have and not really understanding how to change your inner life because it is really your inner life that is the very thing that's going to bring towards you those meaningful connections, that's going to change the energy that you use to navigate your life moving forward. Okay. So I'm going to ask you a question that I think will help you become very laser focused about what you want for the next 6 months. Okay. And the key here is that time is going to keep marching forward, right? Like that tick-tock time that Einstein said, that's not really the nature of time, right? Time is going to keep marching on, all right? And the question is, who are you going to be as time is marching forward? Okay? Because this is what I want you to understand about time. The past and the future of each of us meets at a single place, and that is right here, right now. So there is an illusion that things occur one at a time. That is an illusion. Actually, all there is right now. So the question is, right now, are you going to align your consciousness with a very different vision of you, of what you want your life to be? If you're able to use your imagination and really align your imagination with a way bigger vision than you've had for your life, what I will tell you is that you will, not you may, you will change the course of your life. Okay. So I know that if you have big dreams, they're really important to you. I think that you may have goals and those are critical to you for creating a better life. Okay. But dreams and goals, they definitely give you a sense of direction. They give you a game worth playing in your life, right? But it is not those goals that are going to move the needle forward. Okay. It is, who are you going to be? How are you going to think? How are you going to feel? And what actions are you going to take right now? Because time only exists in our mind. Now, our mind, our automatic subconscious mind, wants to live in anticipation of the future, or it wants to live from the memories of the past. Now, why does it want to do that? Basically, because of our hardwiring to ward off danger. So we feel like, right, the illusion is if we live in anticipation of our future, right, we can prevent something happening in our future that we don't want to happen. We can prevent some way of feeling that we don't want to feel, basically like the rug is being pulled out from under us, or right, like that anxiety of being in the unknown. So your mind is always going to be in anticipation of something in the future or in a memory of the past. So it's the waiting and the remembering that creates this illusion of time, like it's linear. Okay. And that is exactly what creates so much pain and stress in your life. Okay. So the most important thing when we are rewiring a conscious mind is to build the muscle to be able to observe and experience our automatic mind and create now from a very different mind. Because everything happens now. What if you're remembering the past? It's now. If you're thinking about what you want for the future, it's now. You learn from your past now. You create for your future now, right? When you were actually in your past, it was still now. If you're working towards your future, it's still now, all right? Everything is now, okay? You're always going to be right here, right now. You can't be anywhere else but right here, right now, okay? There is only now. There will always only be now, okay? And there is nothing that you can ever do in any other moment than right now, right? So, right, think about that. Think about trying to do something yesterday or do something tomorrow, right now. You can't, okay? You can only be or do now, all right? So even tomorrow is now. And this is one of the most important things because many people keep visualizing the things that they want and they keep waiting and they keep waiting until. And you can have your, I'm going to do that when. And it'll be a fill in the blank for you, right? When I get my degree, when I understand more, when people often come into my programs after years and years and years of studying, right? It's like they want to gather all the information first before they'll take the action. And now they have so much information before they'll take an action towards their dream. And they're still just as stuck as they were 5 years ago. Okay. So even the experience of time is really created in your mind. It is really created by continuing to look at your past or look at your future. All right. So I want to use this episode for you to think about the next 6 months, to really consider that if you start taking actions right now that are in alignment, not just with a vision, but a different experience of who you are and what you're capable of accomplishing, you have the power to create a completely different life. Okay. I want you to take action and apply the learning of this podcast to your life because it's only through action that you're going to make any changes. It's only through actions that you're going to make changes that stick. It's only through action that you're going to see your life getting better and unfolding in a very different way. All right. So, what do you want to make happen in the next 6 months? And you can look at different areas of your life, right? You can look at your health and well-being. You can look at your money. You can look at your relationships. You can look at your experience with yourself. You can look at maybe there's a project that you've been putting off doing for years. Okay. So as you're listening to my words, I really do want you to take a minute and think about the next 6 months. Close your eyes if you're not driving in the car, right? Do a little time traveling, okay? Imagine what you want your life to look like and imagine what you want your life to feel like. I can sit here right now and tell you that that is how I've created everything that I have in my life right now. Okay. And I can see that now because here I am now with the way my life looks now. And I can look back at a time where that was all in my imagination. And I would do the visualization to imagine what my life would be like. And I would take even the tiniest of actions towards that. And my life is vastly different than it was 5 years ago. Almost nothing looks the way that it did 5 years ago. Okay. But even the past 6 months have drastically changed, right? So 6 months from now, what does it feel like in your day-to-day life? What's happening in your career? What's happening in your business? How have your relationships, your friendships changed? Are you making more money? Has your health changed? Are you happier? Where are you living? Did you move? Right? I really want you to stop and visualize it and to really embody in your physical nervous system. What do you want to make happen in the next 6 months? Okay. So setting an intention is very important, but many people set intentions and then they mean to follow up with those intentions and then they don't do it. They don't take action. Why is that? Because unless you are making room and space to do the internal work to shift your consciousness, to make your unconscious conscious, okay, your life is just going to keep going the way that it's always gone because life is busy. Okay. So if you think that you can just spend some time visualizing, that's not going to be enough. Changing your life is not going to happen by accident. It only happens on purpose. Okay. There might have been things even last year that were a priority that just aren't a priority anymore. And you might keep engaging in those things. You know why? Because, well, I've just always done it that way. Okay. So you've got to take some time to really look and see what are the parts of my life that are really in alignment with what my soul wants for me, and what are the parts that are not. You need to be able to have an honest conversation with yourself to clear away maybe the guilt that you have because, you keep operating in a way that doesn't feel good, but you feel too guilty, maybe, letting go of that friendship, or saying no to somebody that you have been saying yes to. Okay, you gotta be willing to let go of what no longer serves you so that you can really make room for something that you care about deeply and that you're really going to actually make happen. All right. And that is super important because most people just live their life on autopilot, where, one day blends into the next, and then 1 month blends into the next, and then 1 year blends into the next. And before you know it, you've been living a life where you're just on autopilot, right? You get up, you go to work, you come home, you make dinner, you watch some TV, you clean the kitchen, you go to bed, you do it all again, right? With a few, cool vacations spread in between, which is awesome. But I'm not interested in that. I really want you to have an intentional life. Okay. So the next 6 months can really be about you choosing to create a different reality. Okay. To infuse the next 6 months of your life with different thoughts and different emotions and different actions, and to keep your conscious attention on something that will just bring your soul to life, something that will have you jumping out of bed, ready to start the day. Okay. Something that really matters to you, something that's important to you. All right. And I want to talk about this principle from physics called the domino effect. Okay. Domino effect is a cumulative effect that's produced when one event sets off a series of similar or related events, like a chain reaction, like a domino effect. Okay. And what I can tell you is that when you keep moving forward, where every action is in alignment with a different vision, even if it's a tiny little action, over time, you will be living a completely different life. Okay. I want you to imagine it's 6 months from now, that business that you haven't started, I want you to imagine that it's actually up and running and it's making money. Do you know how proud of yourself you're going to be? Okay. I'm launching my first certification program in the next few months. I haven't even launched it. I am already feeling that sense of feeling proud of myself, feeling accomplished, being in gratitude. I haven't even launched it yet. Okay. That was something that was in my imagination for years. It is now coming to reality because of the tiny little actions I took over time, over time, over time. And I can actually feel the emotions associated with the launch way ahead of the launch. That's what I want available to you, to stop talking about it, thinking about it, start taking actions, to stop wishing and wanting and waiting, and to start creating. That's what we're doing here. Okay. Now, you are the builder. You're the builder of your life. So, how do you build? How do we instruct life? The images in our mind are literally the blueprint from which our life is built. Okay, so again, if we go back to quantum physics, our life now is really a manifestation of images in our mind that are now expressed in reality. Okay, so what this means is our past thoughts, our past mental images have created our current physical reality. You wanted to get married, you found somebody to marry. You wanted to have babies, you are now a parent. You wanted to get a job, you got a job in your career. You wanted to find friends, you've manifested friendships. Okay. So that is literally how reality gets created, right? Our thoughts and mental images create our physical reality because first we experience our own thoughts. That's how we know ourselves. That's how we know what we want our life to be. And then we take actions that will align with those images and those thoughts and those beliefs that started out in our imagination. So life uses our imagination to know what to create next. Okay. Your life matches the imagination that you've had. But if you change your imagination, you can literally change the life that you're living. So our imagination has the power to literally make or break our life, right? So if you keep imagining your life as you wish it to be, you start to see reality give you back what you imagine it will be, but not from a place of lack. You have to see it as a real possibility. And again, that starts by changing from the inside. Everything we do right now is an expression of our imagination. So to change your life, you have to change your imagination, you have to change your thoughts, and you have to change your beliefs. That's the key to all of it. The life you're living right now is consistent with your imagination. If you aren't clear what's in your imagination, look at your current life. You'll see it's a direct match. Even when there's something going on in your life where you say, I don't want my life to be this way. It is a direct match for something that's going on in your deep subconscious imagination, right? If you have a job or a career that isn't satisfying for you and you're still in it, it is a direct match for something, probably fear. Okay. So again, I love Albert Einstein quotes. He said that our imagination is the greatest creative force. So are you willing to learn to go where your imagination will take you? Because I said this before, I'm going to say it again. Your subconscious mind can't distinguish between real and imagined. So you can use your imagination to create excitement for the future that you're designing right now. You can actually experience that excitement right now before you even have the things in your concrete reality. The clearer your visions are, the faster you achieve them, right? If you keep holding your dream high enough and you keep revisiting it every single day, as long as you're doing your part, you have to speak it into reality. You have to act it into reality, right? You have to be in alignment with that dream. If you are doing your part, speaking it, acting it, being it, it is going to manifest. I don't know if it's going to manifest in 6 months, but your life will be drastically different in 6 months, right? You have to keep taking the next action that feels like it's the next thing to do, not the next action that's going to be the perfect thing that's going to take it exactly where you want it to go. Nope. Because remember, you're only right here, right now. You can't anticipate where anything's going to go or how anything's going to be. It's just taking the next action that feels like it's the next thing to do. And to keep unhooking yourself from your automatic mind that wants to know exactly how. That's none of your business. Your automatic mind is always going to worry about the how. It's your job to keep unhooking yourself every time your automatic mind tries to pull you back into that fear and that worry and that attempt to predict how all of it is going to go. Your job is just to keep moving, because the actions you take, no matter how small you believe they are, will eventually trigger that domino effect. Eventually, they're going to trigger something that you hadn't seen. And this goes on and on and on and on until all of a sudden you are living a very different reality. And that's universal. So that's what I am most passionate about, is that you start taking the actions that are in alignment with that vision that you have for yourself, that you visit that vision every day, that you experience the joy and the gratitude and feeling so proud of yourself because you're the one that changed the life that you're living. If you're interested in hearing more about how the Mastering Your Mind program can support you in altering every single facet of the most important areas of your life, I would love to connect with you. You can go to my website, dethroningyourinnercritic.com, and schedule some time to connect with me. Thank you for listening to this episode today, and I'll see you soon.